Hi folks. If you're watching this video, you're probably either you've talked to me in the gymnasium, you're down in my room, or you sent me an email with concerns about assignments, or just generally doing the good parent thing where you want to know what's going on in your child's classroom. Anyway, so again, this is my video number 1 on assignments. I'm assuming that you've watched the open house video. If you haven't, you can watch that, doesn't matter. But anyways, this video will talk about assignments and how they are handled in my classroom. One of the things I'd like that everyone to understand is that my classroom is completely paperless. Once iPads go out, I don't use paper anymore. Well, I use it, I just don't collect it myself. It is okay if you don't have the internet at home. Now, because I have a digital classroom, doesn't mean that you have to have the internet at home. I do not give and I do not expect students to do work digitally while at home. Unless it's a district policy that mandates this due to weather or student absence. So I'm not going to give digital assignments for your child to do at home. They can complete much of their work online at home if they have the internet, but I assume that access is very limited beyond the classroom. Okay, so when I say I'm completely paperless and digital, that applies strictly to the classroom. Beyond the classroom, I'm pretty traditional. Your child gets a hard copy of assignments, they get a traditional book, and I don't ask them to do things online as to complete them and turn them in at home from the internet. Okay? If they have that ability, I encourage it, but if they don't, I don't require it. The majority of assignments are from the Pearson Realize resources. If you have the internet at home, you can access the materials for your child on the Pearson Realize website, much as you have done in previous grade levels. So the majority of my assignments, curricular material, will all come from Pearson, okay? Hard copies of assignments will always be given for the assignments from the book. So in other words, even though I'm a digital classroom, I still provide hard copies of the assignments for the children related to the Pearson assignments. Your child will or has been given the sign-in procedures for Pearson Realize, and they will or have been posted on Schoology, depending on when you're watching this video. Okay, so most of my assignments are from Pearson Realize. They will be hard copied as well as submitted digitally. Now, all Pearson assignments are given hard copy to be taken home if needed. If your child is not bringing home the Pearson assignments, you will need to discuss this with him or her and set parent expectations, okay? Your child will be provided with the assignments they need to complete. If it's homework or missing work or they're absent, they will be given it. If it's not making it home, please discuss this with your child and work it out with them, because when they leave my classroom, they will have what they need. Okay, Pearson assignments are available in multiple formats for parents and students to conveniently acquire, okay? So in other words, you will have a traditional hard copy. Your child will get a traditional hard copy. It's going to be given in class. A PDF copy will be placed on Schoology. It will be posted in the updates, okay? So PDF of the hard copy is there in case they show up without it and you can access the computer. Digital download is available from Pearson Realize. If you can't get on Schoology and there is no hard copy, but you can get on Pearson Realize, then you can download worksheets from there. Digital versions on Schoology. They are accessed in Schoology materials. Okay, now the digital version is a breakdown of the hard copy, and that's where your kids will submit their answers to their assignments. Okay, I won't collect hard copies. I collect answers from hard copy on the digital version. This is a school-based activity, but if you have the internet at home, they can submit stuff from home. All right? Now, I give several different types of assignments, okay? And they are primarily going to be these types of assignments. There are video video and class notes. There are daily Common Core reviews. These are a Pearson product. There are practice worksheets. That is a Pearson product. There is a vocabulary assignments. These are based on the Pearson glossary or Pearson product. There is computation. These are teacher generated based on the computation skills required in the PA standards. There are Connects labs. These are teacher generated. There are tests and quizzes that are based on the Pearson product as well. So anyways, these are the types of assignments. There's also ST Math, and we'll talk about that. But these are the types of assignments that your child will be primarily doing in my classroom. I'm going to now go over each one of those individually. Video class notes. They are completed after a traditional classroom lecture. I will lecture, and then the next day, or perhaps that day, they will watch a video, maybe me or another professional teaching the concept in a different way, okay? They are graded for accuracy. They are used to reinforce a second or third time what is taught, okay? So even before I give a child a practice page, they will hear me discuss the concepts in a traditional classroom setting. They will watch a video, take notes on it, and then they will do a practice, okay? So they're oftentimes getting the information 3 times before I expect them to use it. Students watch a video. The notes work like this. They will watch a video. They will take notes. They will get their notes initialed by me. I will give them questions on their notes. I will ask them one-on-one interaction, and then they submit a picture of their notes for grading, okay? So I'll initial their notes, and I'll know whether or not they understand the material right then and there. It is a great way to earn points, and the videos and everything will be posted on YouTube, and can often be done from home. So if your child is absent, they can go to these videos and take the notes and learn what is being learned in class that day. It is great for when a child is absent. They are awesome for parents who want to help, but want to kind of like brush up on what's going on mathematically, okay? So the first type of assignment I wanted to let you know about would be the video notes. Next come the Daily Common Core. Daily Common Core, they are basically just worksheets from the Pearson Realize series. They are given with most lessons from the book. They are often reviewed in class after we have graded them. I go over them. If there's weak areas, we kind of like talk about why they may have missed this problem or that problem, the majority of kids. They are progressive throughout the year. In other words, what they learn in topic 1 will begin to appear in the Daily Common Core reviews. They are based on the total Pearson series, which is K through 6, so that at the beginning of the year, the Daily Common Core reviews emphasize the entry-level skills that a 6th grader should have from 5th grade. Hard copies are done first, and then they are turned in digitally in class. Okay, so they'll do a hard copy. If they're absent, they can take the hard copy home, bring it in completed, and then submit it digitally. Okay, so Daily Common Core. The next thing I want to talk about that you'll see in Power School and Schoology are practice worksheets. Again, a Pearson product. They are from Pearson. You have access to them. Given after 2 levels of instruction, so after I've lectured, after they've taken notes on a video, then they are expected to apply what they've learned, okay? Given with most of the lessons we do, and often reviewed in class after we've gone over, after we've completed them and we understand what we got right and what we got wrong. They are progressive also throughout the year, which means that what we do on a practice page in topic 1.1 might reappear again in a different format in topic 5, where they're applying it to the concepts in topic 5. Hard copies, again, are done first and then turned in digitally. Okay, so they would do a hard copy. They could take the hard copy home, don't need the internet, do the hard copy, bring it in that day. They have a time frame for getting it submitted digitally. Okay? The next thing I want to talk about is vocabulary. Big part of math in 6th grade is the vocabulary. These are all from the Pearson book. All the vocabulary can be found in the book's glossary and index. It is completely digital. Students can use their book to look up the words, and it is done in class, but it can also be done at home if your child has internet access. Okay, so it's just vocabulary, very cut and dry, building up sight words and that sort of thing. Computation. Computation is an important skill in mathematics, and so we regularly do a digital computation activity. All 6th grade or lower. In other words, the math is not going to be any more difficult than starting level 6th grade math, okay, or end of the year 6th grade math once we've learned it. It is done in class, but it can also be done at home if you have the internet. Work for the problems is often submitted digitally for a grade. So I might give a computation assignment, and your child would complete the computation on, do it on paper, and then they would submit their answers digitally and then submit a copy of their work digitally so that I can actually see how they're doing their work, setting up their problems, and we can check whether or not they're being accurate. There is limited calculator compatibility with these problems. In other words, even if your child has a calculator in front of them, it's not going to help them because of the types of problems, the way I have them set up, and the way I require them to submit them. Basic computation will be from simple facts to the order of operations with fractions. This won't be as complicated at the beginning of the year, and towards the end of the year, the problems become more difficult. And sometimes they are even timed appropriately for developmental reasons. All right? So, the next thing that types of assignments you'll see are the Connects Lab activities. Okay? They are digital with hard copies as needed. They are an enrichment for all the students, and when I say enrichment, that basically has to do with whether or not children are being proficient in meeting the regular curriculum. They are allowed as the curriculum work is completed. In other words, if children aren't proving they're completing the regular curriculum, they're not going to move on to the enrichment. In other words, if they're not getting their work done, they're probably not going to do the enrichment. Curriculum reinforcement, not instruction. Again, it is enrichment. It reinforces the concepts. It does not instruct them. Okay, the nature of inquiry through enrichment labs does instruct, but that's not the target. Participation is often based on accuracy. Are kids doing accurate work on the regular curriculum work? On high levels of developmentally appropriate standards? Okay, in other words, are they able to handle this type of enrichment? And do they have the soft skills to handle it? So enrichment really, these labs are really truly an enrichment-based activity, which fits in with the district's MTSS model, which is coming up. All right? So, now, tests and quiz, they will come from the Pearson materials only. They will be based on the Pearson curricular materials, and often they are just multiple choice with an open-ended question. I will try to set them up very much like PSSA, just to get the kids used to that format and that process. All right, so those are some of the activities or assignments that you will see your children getting graded for. Now, I wanted to mention ST Math. ST Math is a computer math program and district required. It is fully student-based, okay? And it is done in class. Makeup work can be done in school during homeroom, study time, even after school homework help. It is limited access from home as the teacher deems. In other words, I will open it up sometimes so kids can work on it at home, but mostly I will do ST Math in class. Sessions will sometimes be graded, and they are graded based on classroom stats and individual student stats. So it's an individualized grade, and it's a great way for kids to earn points and boost their scores through their efforts. Okay? So anyways, so now that you have an idea of what assignments I have and how I use them, I want to talk about how these assignments are distributed throughout the week. We're very lucky in the sense that we have an 80-minute block of time. Okay? So at the beginning of the week, what we do is we have about 5 assignments given on Monday. This is going to result in homework on Monday most often. Some kids will finish all of this work in the 80 minutes. Okay? If they don't, they might do ST math for a couple minutes, then computation practice, then daily Common Core review, then watch and take notes, and then practice. And if they don't finish their practice, they'd roll that into a homework assignment where they submit it the next day on Tuesday. Notice in Tuesday there's some flex time. That's because we might only do vocabulary, daily Common Core review, notes, and practice. So in other words, we lighten the load on Tuesday. By Wednesday, you can see that we only have like maybe 3 assignments, an ST math session for maybe 20 minutes or so. They take notes and then they do a practice page. You'll notice that there's a little bit more flex time. That is in case a child is absent here, they can have this time to kind of help make up work, get help from me, that sort of thing. Then by Thursday, you can see that we've dropped down to just 2 assignments, 2 new assignments. There's a lot more flex time for doing makeup work or assignments that they didn't get completed, or enrichment. By Friday, we're only giving 1 new assignment oftentimes, and that's when the kids are going to have a chance for doing enrichment. So a lot of our work is focused at the beginning of the week, and if a student is diligent and they're on course and working like a regular average 6th grade student, by the time they reach Friday, we have a whole lot of time for enrichment, regardless of what their grades are, provided they're not failing and don't need to go back and relearn some stuff. Most students will be doing the enrichment on this day if their work is done. They've proven they understand their work and they're ready to get enriched on what it is they've learned. Okay? Now, some students will work ahead. In other words, if I open the assignments for Monday, if I open them on Sunday, they will do them on Sunday, so that when they come in on Monday, they can get started on Tuesdays, or they will have flex time all Monday to do enrichment. Okay, so sometimes I will provide the assignments the night before, and kids can do them the night before. Okay, and so that's really honoring kids who have a work ethic that wants them to drive forward so they can do the enrichment. Okay, so I really don't have a problem with kids working ahead if the assignments are available and ready to go. I don't make a guarantee that that's going to happen every night, but I try to open a few things here and there just so that kids who are ambitious can work ahead and get that solid work ethic working. Okay, so some students work ahead. Most students are going to work on schedule. So by the time they reach Friday, they have 1 new assignment to do, and then they can be participants in the lab. Some students, however, waste time and get behind. And if that's the case, then this flex time is used to do missing assignments that they forgot to do, didn't do, or just flat out, for whatever reason, didn't turn it in. Okay? The pace is developmentally appropriate and helps individualize the learning for all students. So this may look overwhelming from this point of view, but really, truly, it is a very balanced, mass-customized learning where students who need enrichment can get enrichment, students who need remediation can get remediation, students who have a desire to work ahead can work ahead, students who are slow can still get all their work done before the following week begins. Okay? So anyways, a couple other thoughts. Okay? Assignments are posted on Schoology daily and often multiple days in advance. All assignments can be completed hard copy, but they will always be collected on Schoology. All assignments will be collected during school time. Students may turn in assignments 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if they have internet access beyond school. If they don't, remember, I give time to get all assignments in at school. Students can submit assignments during homeroom, during free time in school, and from after-school homework help if they utilize that service. All right? Now, late assignments. Assignments not submitted on time will be marked late and missing in PowerSchool. So if an assignment is marked late and missing, that means your child, if you see it in PowerSchool and it's marked late and missing or missing, that means they didn't turn it in. Okay? You may or may not see a 0 with it, but you will see documentation saying that it isn't in there and they need to get it in. If an assignment is marked late or missing on PowerSchool, they will have multiple days to submit it with no penalty. In other words, I give them a chance to get caught up. That's how the schedule works, okay? So I'm not going to penalize them for it. Okay, if an assignment is not submitted after they've had plenty of time, a score cannot be given. So the missing work will result in a 0 and a failing grade. Okay, so I cannot give a score for something that does not get turned in. And eventually, I have to, by district policy, mark things as 0. Please refer to the student handbook for further information on late and missing work. Okay, you will sign a certificate, or you have signed a certificate saying that you've read about the conditions for late and missing work. All right. So anyways, hopefully this video answers some of your questions about what assignments your child does and how they are handled, and what our schedule looks throughout the week, and what can result if kids work ahead and work on schedule and get good grades, and how I deal with kids who need a little extra time, need a little extra help, or perhaps choose not to work. All right? But anyways, if you have further questions or whatever, please let me know. Send me an email.